Hey everybody, welcome back to another day painting here. Sorry about that adjustment. I'm going to be painting a deep diver today, and one of the things I dig about deep divers, or at least on my preference, is bright, popping, bold colors. I really think that, you know, the deeper you get, there's some videos on the internet where it shows a light bar transitioning from, you know, shallow water through deep water, and it shows the transition of colors and how the deeper you get with the less light penetration, those lights tend to change, those colors tend to change. So with that in mind, a lot of these colors tend to still really pop really well underwater. So I'm going to try to paint a bait that will definitely hold some light and really pop underwater, especially at, you know, 25 foot or so where this one's going to be at. So we're going to start with some opaque white, give this thing a good prime coat. That way everything else we do after that is really going to pop with that white as the background. And then we're going to add some blues and some yellows and some other stuff to really give it a really bright, vibrant appearance. And hopefully it works to catch fish. We'll find out. All right, we're all heat set. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take and lay a scale pattern across the top of this. We'll pinch it down with our little clips. And then we'll paint it over with this blue that I've mixed up. It's a combination of a couple different colors, so it's going to be a little bit different than your standard like opaque blue or whatnot. So anyway, give me a minute to get the masking on, and then we'll go and we'll lay that coat on there. All right, so we got this scale pattern laid out on the bait with the my masking material. I am just going to go nose, kind of the shoulder of the bait to the back, and just going down the top with a little bit of overspray on the side. Not going to be a whole lot of paint here, but just trying to lay in that blue that I mixed up just across the top, just to give it some depth up there. Then we're going to lay some yellow in, and then we're going to put some, you know, like a shad spot on it. And I think this sucker will be pretty cool. Might do some pearl along the sides after we do the blue, just to give it some, you know, a little bit of flash, but might not, don't know. We'll see what happens. So here's the blue I mixed up. You can kind of see that. This light's not the best, but this is gonna really pop here, so. Just coming down a little bit on the sides, not a lot. I do want to get around those eyes. So let's see there, kind of from that line back, a little bit deeper on that side. There we go. That looks pretty good to me. Sorry about the camera bump. And I think we're pretty good. So we're going to heat set this, and then we'll come back and get ready for the next color. I'm sure I've said this before when it comes to masking material. You know, when you're trying to lay in a gill plate, or not a gill plate, I keep saying that, scale pattern or anything, make sure that's good and heat set well before you go to take the stuff off, because it will affect it. But we're done with that for now. That was just one little phase of this bait, so to speak. Wasn't a lot to it, just you know, snap that on there and get it off. So again, I just kind of always pull this from the sides over the top, down like that. Put it away, hopefully turn it around, and we see, oh, that's not bad. That turned out pretty good. A little bit of smudge there on the side, not sure what that is, but we'll probably be hitting that here in just a second. So now we've got our pretty decent looking scale pattern laid in there. So next we're gonna lay in kind of a lateral line in a yellow. I am gonna go, and I'm looking for it, just because I want this bait to pop a little bit more, I'm gonna go with a fluorescent, and we're gonna lay in a kind of unique scale pattern all along the side, kind of from the gill plate back on both sides, and it's going to be subtle. It's not going to be a whole lot, so you'll see once we get it laid in, but I really think it's going to look cool. So I rescued this little thing. It used to be a little hair clip from my wife or my daughter or somebody, because it just wasn't being used and everything else. And tell me how cool this is going to look. Lay this down along the bait like that and get those dots right along the side. Now it's not going to be exactly easy to line up. I'm going to have to kind of hold my finger back here and, you know, guesstimate on the gill plate location, but once we get it on there, wow, that's going to look kind of snazzy, and it's flexible, so I can kind of hold it in place while we paint. I'm going to actually use one of these clips to kind of clip it back here to the tail. That way everything's lined up good, and then we'll line that layer in. Okay, because I only have 2 hands, I had to clip that up there. I've got it lined up where I want. I'm going to put my thumb over that first hole, if you can see that. First hole's there. That's a little too close, and then I'm going to spray in these guys. I just use some regular old painter's tape to you know, mask off the rest of this so it doesn't get any overspray, except probably on my thumb. So I'm gonna let that sit for just a second, get it time to kind of hit the mark there, and I'm gonna hit it again. Making sure it's on there good. Alright, that should be sufficient. Pull my yellow finger off of there, pull that off, and look at that. That's pretty cool. Little bit of a highlight there. Same idea, other side. Getting my thumb nice and yellow, not a green thumb. We'll let that sit for just a second. It's plenty warm in the garage today, so that won't be a problem. All right. And hopefully this one turned out just as good as the first one. And it did. That's cool. All right. So I'm going to take that same yellow while we've got it loaded in there, and I am just going to quickly, oh man, I kind of really janked up the bottom there with those binder or those alligator clips. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go back with some white, touch that up, and then I'll hit it with that yellow. All right, you know, the beauty about painting is it's never really broken until it's broken. So, all right, got this fluorescent yellow. Gonna hit just around this area here, then I'm gonna hit that pearl white along the bottom, and this bait will be done. And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna heat set it. I'm gonna hit that with a second coat, and then we'll move on to the pearl. You know what I forgot to do that I didn't mention, or I mentioned earlier in the video? We said we were gonna put a little shad spot on this, and I'm gonna put one pretty up high towards the back there. Just need a few drops of black, and my stencil, if I can find it, here it is. I'm gonna go with a little bit of maybe a bigger one. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with a bigger one this time. So I'm just gonna line that up with the top, kind of straight back from the eye, right on that edge of that blue, right there. And there she is. All right, we'll do the other side, and you guys missed most of that, so I'll show you the other side. So there is that. I was holding this kind of pointed at the eye, just straight back. Big loud air compressor again. Uneven there. I'll have to work on that in the future to get better. All right, we got everything heat set. we got everything ready to go. Got that pearlized white ready to rock. I'm gonna do this behind the camera just because this stuff goes everywhere and it leaves my phone sparkling for days. Leaves my camera sparkling for days. So I'm not doing a heavy coat of this, but I am coating the entire bait in it, top, bottom, sides, just to give it a shimmer when it's in the water. I need a little bit more paint. You can see already how it's starting to look. I had a little issue in between the last set and this one where I spilled paint on myself. That's awesome. And yeah, so I had to do a little cleanup on aisle 4 there, so to speak. Okay. So there it is. Doesn't really change the appearance of the bait all that much. It does mute some of the fluorescent a little bit, but not a lot. I'm really digging that, the way it looks. I think it's a solid looking bait. We'll put some big regular size 5mm, probably prism type eyes on there, and then we'll get it clear coated. All right. What do you guys think of this color? It's kind of unique. I think, you know, it's kind of a blueback herring meets a sexy shad meets a, I don't know, something else. It's definitely different. I enjoy painting them, you know, and patterns that I feel are going to catch fish. I'm going to use these guys, these eyes, these silver they call them, but I think they've got that pearl kind of effect to them. So anyway, what I was saying was I really enjoy painting them, and I really enjoy painting ones that I know are colors that work for me. You know, patterns that work out here, out west, down south, all over. You know, I've already had some people commenting on my baits that they're, you know, they've caught fish on them and stuff like that, which is really cool. I dig that. Look how good that looks now. It's going to look even better once we get the clear on it. So anyway, you know, I'm always open to suggestions, ideas for bait colors, for patterns, for tips, tricks, ideas that you're looking for. Just hit me up. You can hit me on Instagram. You can hit me over on, you know, the comment to this video. Anything you want. I am going to be putting together a website so I can start selling some of these guys to you, and they're not going to be expensive. You know, and I'm putting good material on these, like owner rings, owner hooks. You know, I'd rather build a quality bait with quality parts, and you know, to be able to get a quality product out there. So anyway, you can always hit me up on the comments, and we'll get this sucker clear coated, and we'll finish this sucker up. Now I still got the hanger on this. It's not completely done curing yet, but look how good that turned out. That pearl coat looks amazing. That yellow really pops underneath there. I mean, that thing turned out really slick, and you know, you can see those yellow, you know, those fluorescent yellow dots on the side. It's just a little extra flash as it's moving through the water. You know, that's gonna look cool. Same thing on this side. I'm really digging it. I think it turned out really well. I think that's a fish catching machine right there. It can be in clear water, could be in stained water, and that's really going to work well. Part 2. As always, thank you guys for your continued support. I appreciate you guys checking out these videos. Again, if you got any suggestions on any other baits you want me to do, bait patterns kind of like this blue-black shad, I don't know what you call it, we'll call it something, but you know, similar to this one, just hit me up in the comments, let me know what you think, and we'll paint something up. Thanks again for the support, guys.